Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about not just opera, but the true essence of opera. Everyone gathered to discuss heatedly. Dai firmly opposed modern plays and the crowd nodded. Unexpectedly, Little Four jumped out to oppose. That Little Four really has a big heart, getting into such pure art, yet only wanting to show off with words. What a waste. Dai has Little Four tries master's old lesson. This kid's fearless, flipping the basin upside down. Dai didn't know how to persuade his brother, recalling only how he was beaten for disobedience. Now, master-apprentice relations have evolved. Little Four packed his bags and left without a backward glance. Look at this. The master he worked so hard to raise is now doubting him. Subtitles. Boss Chen, if you had said something like that in the old society, I would have believed you. But in this new era, absolutely not. Sorry, but I'm done with being an extra. I can't let your hard work go to waste. Get ready. A great show starting. Duin Xiaolu in King's Gear is set to shine. Just as he stepped onto the stage, he spotted two Yujai waiting backstage. Now that's a surprise. Duin Xiaolu knew better than anyone what happened to Dai, but was too shy to say a word. Now he saw Little Four pressuring Dai, and a fire lit up in his heart. He boldly took off his king's helmet, ready to back Dai, but Little Four flipped the script and stuck him with the label of not singing for the people. Duin Xiaolu felt a mix of anger and helplessness. Every step felt like walking on sharp blades, and his gaze started to waver. He knew deep down that going on stage now would mean betraying his brother, but refusing would definitely spell disaster for himself. At this crucial moment, Dai stepped up quietly, carefully placing the king's helmet on his brother like a true Yujai. His sacrifice was like a guardian for the king, setting fire to all past grievances. Since then, Dai often visited their youth training spot, recalling those good days. Yujai never bowed to anyone, but now her king was lost in the fog of fate. A movement swept the nation, turning peaceful lives upside down. Duin Xiaolu left behind only a sword, which Little Four promptly revealed. She was in a panic, clutching her fists, trying to hide her face with a pen. But how could that shield her from the cruelty of reality? Just then, the well-dressed Yujai stepped silently before the king, as if everything had returned to the past. She said nothing, quietly taking up the pen to paint her brother's face anew, rekindling old flames. Weiping's cultural circle was disrupted, with scholars donning costumes and makeup in the streets. Life is but a play, and within it deceit, yet Duin Xiaolu could no longer find that youthful courage. Now he could only be subordinate, living under others' whims just to survive. What a tragedy. Filled with immense sorrow, he finally disclosed the past of being played by the powerful. Juxin found it utterly unbelievable, so shocked that she cried out "Stop!" in disbelief, her heart refusing to accept that her once affectionate husband could turn out to be so utterly heartless. Duin Xiaolu showed no mercy, tossing the king's helmet into the fire like it was trash, not to mention the sword Dai had given her. Juxin struggled to retrieve that sword from the flames, knowing well that it meant more to Dai than her own life. Yet in that moment, Dai looked at her, a strange hatred bubbling up within, feeling that all suffering stemmed from her. I am liberated too, she thought, finding a reason to justify Juxin's freedom. Duin Xiaolu felt a total loss of conscience, panicking just like a lost dog. I'm tied to this woman. I know it's over, truly over. Oh no. It's all our doing step by step leading us here. It's just desserts. I've been worthless for ages. Even the great King Chu begged for mercy. How can Jinxie survive? He shouted, growing angry by the moment. His intense fury and grief made him lose his reason, and everyone got to hear Juxin's story of her past as a courtesan. Duin Xiaolu finally resolved to draw a line with Juxin, saying from the heart he had nothing to do with her anymore. The light in Juxin's eyes seemed to extinguish. After all, true love turned out to be a joke. The struggle ended, the crowd dispersed, and Dai stood alone, tears flowing as if reflecting on the past. Juxin placed the sword before him and quietly departed. Perhaps leaving was the best choice for both of them. At that moment, even if he wanted to look back, he didn't know what to say to Dai, his heart full of helplessness and sighs. The two stood silently facing each other, both knowing they owed nothing to anyone. In this most difficult time, they held on to their own beliefs. Yet, Juxin was utterly disillusioned with love and humanity, suddenly recalling what she had once wished for. She finally decided to marry, her heart as determined as before, as if returning to the day she wed Jun's Ayalu. This time, she took off her shoes, just like when she left the brothel, setting out on a clean and honest road. Time flows swiftly, memories fade like smoke. 11 years later, the brothers had the opportunity to perform together. Dai held the sword he had lost and regained, singing those classic lines with his brother. In a split second, Dai stood there stunned, and at last comprehended who he truly was, no longer the trapped Yijia. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.